All right, we're live. We're watching the Renegade Con for October. This is very exciting. A lot of new releases come in. Just make sure our sound and everything looks good. In the Renegade Con for October. This is very exciting. A lot of new releases come. Yeah, looks like we're good. Let's get the chat up here. All right. All right, starting soon. Here we go. Cool. Well, let's see who gets into the chat.
What is up, Renegades?
Let's get started.
Welcome to the first event of October RenegadeCon, our Heroscape reveal stream. My name's Anais. I'm the community coordinator here at Renegade, and today I'm joined by the lovely Lee Huff, producer for Heroscape. Say hi, Lee.
Hey everyone, super happy to be back. Also, it's nuts that it's like already October. Well, we've got a ton of stuff to reveal today. It is seriously like, I'm pretty sure it's the most Heroscape we've ever released in one stream. I'm beyond stoked. Like it's nuts.
Yep. Yeah, we're announcing titles that are releasing between the months of February and May. So this includes two story arcs. The first story arc for G.I. Joe Heroscape, Terrain, and Accessories. So let's dive right in, starting with a terrain expansion. Introducing the Caverns of Valhalla. This terrain set includes
Ooh,
shadowy
dungeon.
dungeon corridors, treacherous rock outcrops, and light blocking shadow terrain. Let's check out a full breakdown of everything in here.
Well, I'm really excited about the shadows. And if for those of you familiar with previous releases, this pack marks the return of dungeon and shadow tiles to the game. So dungeon tiles add a neat subterranean aesthetic to the game, and shadow tiles provide pools of cover, granting an extra defense die to all small, medium, and large figures that occupy them. And of course, the return of dungeon and shadow tiles. They're great for blocking line of sight, and they really totally just like tie the whole scene together.
Yeah, and you can pre-order this now using the link in the chat below. This expansion is going to be $60 and is also set to release in February of 2026.
Hey, Anais, do you ever get tired of giving your Frostclaw Paladins those teeny tiny wound marker hats when they've got some wounds?
Well, I do love a little hat on my guys, but it does make them kind of hard to move around. You wouldn't happen to have something to reveal that would help that, would you?
Well, it just so happens I do. So in February, you can pick up some premium wound markers. These are premium markers that sit under a figure and represent 1 or 2 wounds. They're perfect for common figures and squads with multiple life points. This pack of 12 oversized wound markers will be available in February for just $15. You can pre-order them now with the link in our chat. And okay, so Anais, I know you're super excited for this next reveal, so I think you should do the honors.
I would love to. Thanks. So you might have heard that I love painting minis, so I'm really excited to announce the Heroscape Army Painter Starter Set. This is an all-in-one kit that gives you everything you need to start painting your Heroscape minis. If you're a new painter or someone who has maybe a little bit more experience, the set is a great fit for you. It includes 10 Warpaint Fanatic paints, a paintbrush, and an included mini, so you can get started right away.
Yep. And the included figure in this set is the former organized play figure, Decker the Burrow Breaker. He's a great figure to start your painting journey with. And yes, his army card is also included.
If you want to pre-order this paint set for yourself, it's available for pre-order using the link in the chat for $45. This is also set to release in February. And that's going to do it for our February releases. Remember when pre-ordering on our web store that items don't ship until all items are in stock and ready to go. So we recommend ordering items released in the same month together to avoid any major delays. We'll share a full shipping guide at the end of the stream that will help you figure out what's safe to order together. So stay tuned for that. All right, it's time to move on. March releases. Lee, you want to kick things off for us?
I might as well. So this is the G.I. Joe Rumble at the Rift Battle Box. This will be the second ever battle box for Heroscape. And battle boxes are excellent jumping in points to the game, complete with everything you need to play. And this set stars some of the most iconic G.I. Joe characters.
Yeah, on screen now is the full list of the box's contents. There are highly detailed miniatures, glyphs, dice, wound markers, and of course, a bunch of terrain.
Okay, so I need to take a beat and I want to talk terrain real quick before the minis because I have to. I'm too excited. So,
mad editing chitter chatter. Here we go.
See, this set has some of the shadow tiles we spoke about in Caverns of Valhalla expansion, but we're also bringing back asphalt and concrete. And this is what I'm most excited about. We have some brand new terrain types, toxic land and toxic water. When a figure is on toxic land, its defense value is reduced by 1. And while you don't have to stop moving on toxic water, if you stay there, your defense value is going to be reduced by 2. Oh, and it glows in the dark. So, yep, you heard that right. This is so much fun to create, and I'm beyond excited for y'all to play with this new terrain and tinker with it. It's going to be awesome.
This set is already
new format. We're turning off the lights.
So cool, and we haven't even gotten to the figures. So let's jump into those army cards now, starting with Duke. You might want to be slightly more careful with him on the game field as he's the cornerstone of any soldier-based army. Yo-Jo lets him order a decisive push once per round, letting 2 Joes or soldiers off of his first order marker. Lead by example boosts the attack of his compatriots and his inspiring presence, and both of these abilities work for G.I. Joe and soldier figures. So Sergeant Drake can join the team.
Heck yeah!
And then there's Snake Eyes. Everybody loves Snake Eyes. The ninja class is an old one in Heroscape history, and Snake Eyes wears it super well. He has the usual phantom walk ability all ninja have, as well as the swift movement speed of 6 to make it count. He stands out in a battle box full of ranged weaponry as a decisive counter to aggressive ranged plays. Evasive 2 makes him hard to hit at a distance, while Assassinate 2 gives him the edge in close quarters combat against any foe foolish enough to wander away from the group. Lee, can you tell us about a few more of the figures?
For sure. So let's talk about my girl, Scarlet, next. As a player, you'll want to be pretty clever to get the most out of this character. Now You Know opens each round with some free information, as Scarlet reveals one of your opponent's order markers to you. It also lets you swap one of your own markers in response. Scarlet's targets reduce their defense value for each revealed order marker they have, making her extremely lethal later in the round or against armies that like to put their eggs in one basket. And speaking of lethality, Scarlet's is to the bone. Her final power gives her a bonus movement and melee attack should her opponent be foolish enough to clump up their figures. And we should take a look at Roadblock. He's got one special power, but boy howdy, he makes it count. The machine gun special attack lets him hit up to 3 different targets in a single burst. And honestly, like carrying around that big gun does make him a bit slow, but he's sturdy, making him a great complement for his 3 companions in the battle box.
Now that we've got the good guys out of the way, let's talk about some of the baddies, starting with Cobra Commander. Cobra Commander enjoys getting his hands dirty, or specifically his cutlass, lots of S's of Cobra, a power that grants him automatic skulls when attacking adjacent figures. But if that doesn't finish the job, he also uses his helpful cowardice to flee the scene and try again later. After taking wounds from a normal attack, he can use "I'll get you next time" to move up to 2 spaces away from the action. With a life value of 6, catching him long enough to put him down for good can be difficult. Quite fitting for a slippery snake commander. Now, let's talk about Storm Shadow. Like Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow has Phantom Walk, swift movement, and a low life value of only 4. But he has smoke bombs. These nanite grenades were developed by Cobra and allow him to deploy shadow tiles to the battlefield, supporting both himself and his army with boosted defense when placed strategically. This ninja is also capable of wielding multiple blades at once and often spins them in a blood circle around himself to create a whirlwind assault against all adjacent foes, letting him attack as many times as there are enemies adjacent to him.
Oh my goodness. Okay, speaking of bad guys, I have to talk about the next one, Dr. Mindbender. So, as his name implies, Dr. Mindbender spends a lot of his time messing with people's heads. Like, not even his allies are spared from a little tinkering here and there. With a little suggestion, he can play some support, boosting his teammates into more strategic positions with a casual wave of his completely, like, totally bizarre contraption. But he can also focus his meddling on a specific target, bringing a new form of mind control to the battlefield. However, his control is only temporary and only with a revealed X order marker. In exchange, he gets a much lower trigger number than figures that could permanently flip control of the past, and he only needs a 13 to succeed. But this bad doctor is also relatively durable with 5 life and 4 defense. So simply removing him from the equation might be easier said than done. And the final figure in this battle box is Destro. Destro brings a unique gameplay mechanic to the table in the form of his tech glyphs. Each glyph offers the holder a unique ability, and Destro may bequeath these to his teammates. And he probably keeps the best good toy for himself. He so commonly keeps some of his own supply, in fact, that he earns a personal arsenal special power. This lets him attack twice each turn with the second shot at a reduced attack value while he swaps guns. And if anyone tries to return fire, his beryllium steel mask has a good chance at deflecting it with an automatic shield added to any ranged attacks against him.
And those are all the figures. We're super excited to be adding another battle box to our Heroscape collection. Like usual, there will be both painted and unpainted options for this set, so you can jump right into the action with a painted set or customize to your heart's content with the unpainted version. The unpainted is $65 and the painted is $85, and you can pre-order that now using the link in the chat below. The battle box has some big names, but we aren't done with G.I. Joe yet. The Strike Forces Army expansion brings 2 new unique heroes and 2 new unique squads for Heroscape.
Oof.
Lee, what can you tell us?
All right, well, inside this set is Joe's covert ops specialist, Lady J. The Master of Disguise ability from Fia Bani returns with Lady J able to make herself untargetable to squad figures by rolling a 14 or higher on a 20-sided die. Lady J's biggest impact on the battle is sure to be like her ability to deploy zip lines. Before and after she moves, Jay can place a zipline glyph next to her. And actually, let's take a closer look at this permanent new glyph. Once per turn, when any small or medium figure ends its movement on a zipline glyph, it can move to any other zipline glyph within 6 spaces, or any empty same level space next to that glyph. And rounding out the G.I. Joe's unique forces are the duo of Jinx and Kamakura. These two apprentices of Snake Eyes are respected ninjas in their own right, so of course they have 6 move and phantom walk. The rest of their abilities tie Heroscape's ninjas together in a tricky but unified fighting force. With Learn from the Master, Jinx and Kamakura can bond with any ninja hero you control. So that could be Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, or even Shiori. And on top of that, their coordinated takedown ability gives them extra attack against figures that are adjacent to other friendly ninjas.
Now, let's move on to the Cobra figures in this expansion, starting with Baroness. Cruel and efficient, Baroness is Cobra's right hand. With a range of 7 and an attack of 4, she is a formidable sniper. As Cobra's intelligence chief, she can issue orders for 2 Cobra or agents, heroes, to take a turn from her first order marker in a round. Finally, at the end of her turn, she can choose a figure within 6 clear sight spaces and roll the 20-sided die. If she rolls a 16 or higher, she can move, look at one of the figure's order markers, and move it to the army card of a different figure within 6 spaces. That's pretty tricky. Very cool. But last up is the source of much of Cobra's funding, the Crimson Twins. Unlike most squads, they have this feature called one twin feels what the other twin feels, which means the pair shares a life pool of 6. When one takes a wound, it goes to their army card, and once they take 6 wounds total, they are both destroyed. Their bankroll special power lets them pay off any unique hero to join the Cobra organization. That can be useful for letting them activate with Baroness or to combo with the Cobra Troopers, who we will get to in a bit. Finally, their business operations special power lets them reposition Cobra figures after they attack.
And that's everything in this army expansion. You can see a full breakdown on the screen now. The unpainted set is $50 and painted is $70. You can pre-order this now with the links in the chat for a March release. And let's move on to our next army expansion, the Heroscape G.I. Joe Green Shirts and Battlecopter Common Army.
Just real quick, if you're just joining or you already knew, I will be giving away a army expansion box sometime during the stream, more towards the end. So stick around for that, just in case you didn't know.
Expansion. Anais, can you tell us a little bit about this?
I sure can. So the characters we've seen so far are some of the most popular heroes of the franchise, the big names that everyone knows. But behind each famous hero is a squad of talented soldiers backing them up when they need it. Those troops, common in gameplay terms but uncommon in their bravery, are the Green Shirts and Battlecopters. Let's first have a look at the Green Shirts. Valiant and dependable, the squad can lay down a respectable 4 attacks of 2 in a turn. Those attacks get more potent if they are inspired by Dukes leading by example. Their special power, wherever there's trouble, keeps their heroes always in the fight, moving 2 unengaged G.I. Joe or soldier heroes up to 2 spaces. Next up is the Battlecopter. Lee, you want to show these off?
Sure. So we know no G.I. Joe team would be complete without vehicles. The Battlecopter is a single-seat scout craft that gives a perfect vantage over a battlefield. Battlecopters are common heroes, so you can bring more than one of them into a battle, and at 35 points each, you could probably squeeze in a few. Since it is a helicopter, it obviously has flying, but it also has an ability called Battle Ready that lets it take a turn instead of another card. So before revealing a numbered order marker on another card, you can reveal the X on the Battlecopter and reveal that order marker on the Battlecopter instead. This lets you wait to take a turn with the copter until the most opportune moment, or even still take a turn if the figure with your order marker was destroyed. Finally, they have a strafe special attack that lets them attack all figures in a straight line. Of course, since they're good guys, they don't hit friendly figures the most line attacks would.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see more comments during the game. I'm sure everybody else is too. So if you want to order a set or two of these, the unpainted version is $50 and the painted version is $70. And you can check that out with the link in the chat dropped by our lovely mods.
And don't think we forgot about those building Cobra armies. The last army expansion reveal for March is the Cobra Troopers and the Cobra Flight Pod Common Army expansion. Cobra wouldn't be Cobra without dozens of nameless minions for the Joes to mow down. So, of course, they need commons. Let's have a look at the Cobra Troopers. Fittingly for nameless baddies, their stats are not great. However, when the Cobra leadership is around, they can be quite deadly. Their Coils of Cobra special ability gives them an additional attack die for each unique Cobra figure adjacent to them. On top of that, they have Villainous Bonding, which lets them take a turn with a Warlord or Profiteer hero you control. That could be Cobra Commander or Destro if you're using figures from the Battle Box.
Also in this pack is the Cobra Flight Pod, lovingly referred to as the Trouble Bubble. Flight pods have a lot in common with the Battlecopter from the G.I. Joe side. They both have flying and the battle ready special power and share life, range, attack, defense, and points value. While the flight pods are slower than the Battlecopters, they make up for it with the air to ground missile special attack. Being able to threaten a 3-die explosion at any time with battle ready makes the Cobra Flight Pod excellent at dictating enemy positioning.
You can pre-order those common army expansion now. The painted version is 50 and the unpainted version is 50 and the painted version is 70.
We have a terrain set to reveal that is a perfect companion to the G.I. Joe releases, but first, a couple of quick things. If you don't know, army cards, pictures of minis, and character bios are all available for all new figures at Heroscape.com. Make sure to check that out after the stream. Now, let's talk terrain. Lee, would you do the honors?
For sure. So this is the urban landscape of Valhalla. Some fans may remember Asphalt and Concrete from another set from long ago. So this is more of the Asphalt and Concrete that will be present in the G.I. Joe Battle Box. These two terrain types don't have any unique gameplay effects, so it keeps it rather simple. They provide great visual diversity with their solid coloring, and they allow for new thematic battlefields in urban settings. And this set also features some of the fortified wall obstacles from the G.I. Joe Battle Box. You can pre-order this terrain expansion for $45 using the link in chat. We have our final review for the Yo Joe's story arc, and our pre-order promo figure is Serpenter. On the battlefield, he can attack twice each turn due to his zeal for violence, and he can lower the defense values of his opponents and allies alike just by being near them. Serpenter can steal order markers from his subordinates and use them himself at strategic points in the game. He's good at keeping opponents guessing and making allies wonder if making a genetically enhanced supervillain was really such a great idea.
Yeah, he sounds like a lot of fun to play with. If you want a Serpentor figure, all you have to do is pre-order one of the Yo Joe story arc releases. That includes all the March G.I. Joe releases we just mentioned. This promo is limited to one per customer. You can get it by pre-ordering on our web store or through participating local game stores. Check in with your favorite stores to see if they're getting these figures, and if they have any questions, tell them to reach out to us.
Oh, and speaking of the G.I. Joe Heroscape, our lovely game designers are working on even more Joe content as we speak. So now that you've seen a bit of what we've been working on, we want to take an opportunity to ask what you want to see. So down in the chat, you can find a link to a quick survey we made to gather your feedback.
Yeah, we can't wait to see what you all think, and a big thank you in advance to everyone who participates in our survey. All righty, let's move on to the month of April. The title of this story arc releasing is Gathering Storm. We're going to kick off this month's reveals with the Heroscape Elites of Ular and Rannoch Viper's Common Army expansion. This expansion introduces two new common squads for Ular, a sturdy Kiri squad with the Elites, and the return of the classic Heroscape species. Vipers. Let's take a look at the army card for the elites of Ular. These loyal warriors are designed to work in tandem with Melki and Ziamara from the Kiri Warriors Army expansion. The first thing to note about them is their life value of 2.
Perfect use for the premium wound markers because I don't think they want tiny
Absolutely.
hats.
Yeah. It also means that Ziamara can prevent them from dying to a strong attack with her Amulet of Pavidar ability, and then Melki can heal them back to full health with her Spear of Sankari. Their other 2 abilities are also designed to complement those heroes. Thanks to Blade Dance, Melki and Ziamara roll an extra attack die against enemies adjacent to an elite. And when an elite is wounded by a normal attack, you can move an unengaged Ular Kiri up to 4 spaces thanks to Ular's Pact, which can help keep your army within important auras.
This is a great sturdy squad. So let me tell you about
Exciting to see if we can make Mielke work. I've always wanted to use her.
the other squad in this set, the Rannoch Vipers. So these guys are slithering into battle from the swamp planet of Mar and wielding guns stolen from overthrown Maro warriors. But unlike the elites, these snakes are definitely not sturdy.
Yeah, is that a defensive 0?
It for sure is. So vipers are a returning species from the original run of Heroscape, but now in a new form. Much like the Venic vipers before them, these do have a defensive 0, but they make up for it in other ways. They can hit foes from a range of 6, and when you combine that with their very fast move of 7 and the ability to cross water with Slither, they're super valuable. And on top of that, if they're close enough, they can hypnotize the enemy into reducing its defense. And finally, the evasive 2 special power helps them defend themselves against range attacks as they close in.
Yeah, it's super cool to see these fellas make return to the game. If you want this Common Squad Army expansion, you can get the unpainted version for $50 and the painted version for $70. And you can pre-order that now using the links in the chat. Okay, so the next reveal for this story arc is the Chain Gruts and Ramessar Rider Common Army expansion. This is our first time seeing Volorak summon a species other than Vorids, the classic Heroscape species Grut Orcs.
Now, these orcs look a bit different than the ones you may remember.
They're giving like Wizard of Oz or something. That's what I think when I see these guys.
Remember Ukar summoning back in Heroscape's original run. These ones sport mechanical chain axes and spiffy new military-style uniforms, but they still don't have socks.
Yeah, let's take a look at the Chain Gruts. As a 4-figure squad with a bonding ability, they are prepared to form the backbone of a Volorak army. Their guild boss bonding means that before taking a turn with them, you can take a turn with a champion you control who follows Volorak or any orc champion. That means these guys can team up with the likes of Zed, Tuck, Kane, and Decker to wreak havoc. With their strong arm ability, figures engage with Chain Gruts can't make leaving engagement attacks against figures that aren't Chain Gruts, which can help their champions out of trouble or let Decker pull off a drill drive without retribution. Their titular ability, Chain Axes, makes a return from Doran, with it letting them re-roll an attack die each time they attack. It means their attack value of 2 will generate as much more consistent skulls.
And of course, let's not ignore the dinosaur in the room.
Yeah.
Also in this box is a Ramessar rider. So these common heroes are orc champions, so they bond with the Chain Gruts. They are fast with 7 move and sturdy for a common hero with 3 life and 4 defense. And while their attack is only 2, they make up for it with their special abilities. First is Burst Assault 1, which means if they attack something they weren't engaged to at the start of their turn, they roll an additional die, which between their fast movement and strong arm on the Chain Gruts, that shouldn't be hard to do. And second, representing the sturdy noggin of the Pachycephalosaurus is Headbutt. If the defender rolls exactly enough shields to block an attack from a Ramessar rider, both the defender and the Ramessar rider take a wound.
Yeah, ouch. What was that? Can you do that for me?
Pachycephalosaurus. I do.
Pachycephalosaurus. New vocab word. Yeah, if you want to get copies of this expansion, you can pre-order now using the links our mod is dropping in the chat. The unpainted version is $50 and the painted is $70. That's going to be all of the army expansions for this story arc, but we have a few new, we have a new terrain expansion releasing alongside them. Lee, you want to tell us about it?
Sure do. It's trees. So this is the Forest of Valhalla terrain expansion. So these towering evergreens provide natural cover for your armies, blocking line of sight and creating
Just a
ambush
bunch of trees.
opportunities. Let's get the full breakdown of everything in the set on the screen
A lot of
right now.
trees.
So
6
there
trees.
are a total of 3 different tree heights. There's 15, 12, and 10. And there are 2 of each size in the set. So these are perfect for adding tactical depth and visual impact to your battlefields. This terrain expansion is available to pre-order now for $40 with the link in chat.
Yeah, and before we move on to May releases, we have one final reveal, a special pre-order promo for the Gathering Storm arc. This arc promo is Sivaris.
Oh my goodness, yes. So longtime Heroscape
Another
fans,
promo.
like you totally heard that right. So Savaris the Elf Archer is back and quite possibly even more arrogant than ever. Ananias, can you break down his army card down for us?
Yes, I can. Much like his original version, he can hit from the crazy long range of 9. He even hits harder than he used to with an attack value of
That's pretty cool. I like this because it changes it into some decision making instead of just I just always shoot at 9. So you get but you have 4 attacks, so it has gone up to do more, or you can decrease it to do multiple attacks.
4. Where he used to have double attack, this new version is a volley unto himself. That means that he can reduce his range to attack up to 3 times in one turn.
I mean, that's super powerful, but it means he has to get in close so he doesn't know what he's attacking. So he honestly, he might be in for some trouble, but it seems fitting for an arrogant elf.
Yes, very true. If you want a copy of Savaris for yourself, all you need to do is get him for free as a pre-order. You can pre-order something from the Gathering Storm story arc. These figures are limited to 1 per customer, and like the last pre-order promo, you can get it by pre-ordering on our web store or through participating local game stores. So ask your game store and send them our way.
Okay, so we've made it to May, and this will be the final month of Heroscape releases that we're revealing today. So May 2026 will kick off a new story arc, and many of you may have noticed that we kept this story arc name hidden using redacted on all of our materials you've seen so far. Well, it's time to lift that redaction. The May story arc will be called Thorman's Thunder.
Woohoo.
Appropriately, the first army
Dwarfs.
expansion we'll be talking about for the Thorman's Thunder arc will be the Thorman and Kraken army expansion. So that's right, the Pirate King is the original Valkyrie himself, Thorman.
Finally.
Let's take a look at the card. The first thing to notice is that Thorman is Heroscape's first unaffiliated army
nice.
card. He follows none of the 8 Valkyrie generals as his motivations are fully his own. From a gameplay standpoint, unaffiliated will function as an affiliation, like Jandar, Ugar, or Cobra. His Pirate King ability means that he fits right in with any pirate army, but can also be chosen as a liege for the Signs of Ikaria. His solid stats and the return of the swashbuckler ability from Bok Bernah make Thorman a fearsome combatant in his own right. But his real strength lies in the way he commands his armada. The Ragtag Armada special power rewards playing with a group of unique heroes that each have different affiliations. Before taking a turn with Thorman, you can take a turn with another unique hero, but you can't take turns with the same affiliation more than one in a round. It should lead to some exciting assortments of heroes being played together.
And in his quest to stop the Valkyries and send all combatants home, Thorman has turned to the magic of the Void, and in doing so, has summoned a legendary monster to help him achieve his goals, the Kraken. So, like Thorman, the Kraken is unaffiliated. It knows no master other than the one who summons it. It is too big to manifest completely on Valhalla, but with its command of portals that warp space, it can send its tentacles out into the world to fight. It is a unique squad with 5 figures, but they don't start the game on the battlefield and must instead be summoned. So, after revealing a numbered order marker on a unique or unfathomable hero you control, you can summon one of the tentacles next to that hero. Then, later in the game, instead of taking a turn with a unique or unfathomable hero, you can take a turn with the Kraken instead. Opponents should definitely try to kill the tentacles soon after they spawn, or they'll end up overrun. And finally, tentacles can teleport much like the smaller Krakenlings using their warp space ability.
On top of those amazing figures and their army cards, the pack comes with instructions to play a unique 2 or 3 player boss battle scenario. Play as Thorman and the pirates attempting to close the well springs for good, or as the coalition sent to thwart his plot. The scenario comes with a special boss card for Thorman, complete with a second phase, as any good boss battle should have. If you want to pre-order this expansion, it's $55 for the unpainted version and $75 for the painted one. And as always, links in the chat below.
And it's October, so it's only appropriate we reveal something a little spooky, like the Revenants of Revna and Nuclevi Common Army expansion. The Revenants of Revna are a common squad of undead Kiri warriors who served other Valkyrie generals in life, but are now returned from death in service of the Lady Revna. Let's take a look at their army card. With a move value of 6 and stealth flying, they can zip quickly across the battlefield. And while their 2 attack and 3 defense may seem unimpressive at first, their special powers more than make up for it. Both Blood for Blood and Occult Bonding make them perfect pairings with Miserex from the Master Set and Kilcorex from the Kiri Warriors Army expansion, as well as Nuclevi from this box, which we will get to in just a sec. With Occult Bonding, the Revenants can take a turn with a warrior, witch, or scourge hero that follows Revna before taking their own turn. On top of that,
That's really cool. So you can take a damage onto like onto Mizrax, and then she can just heal herself.
Blood for Blood lets them put a wound on a hero to boost their attack value of that hero and the Revenants for that turn. And of course, with Life Drain, Miserex may be able to just heal that wound right off.
The other figure in the box is the absolutely terrifying Nuclevi. These horrible demons come from the planet Phelan to terrorize Valhalla. They are common heroes, so you can field more than one of them. But let's take a look at the army card. With their Withering Breath special attack, they can hit up to 3 figures in a straight line, and they roll additional attack dice for each wound they have. This synergizes with the Revenants, giving them wounds through Blood for Blood. Finally, thanks to their Subsume Soul ability, the first time they destroy a figure each turn, they can remove a wound, which should keep them going well into the battle.
You all can pre-order the unpainted version for $50 and the painted version for $70. Check it out with the links in our chat. So next up is a new army expansion with some fun twists. This is the upgraded Necrotech Reavers Common Army expansion. This set adds a new Eisenach Common Squad and 3 new common heroes to Vidar's armies. Anais, can you break down the army card for the Necrotech Reavers?
Yes, I would love to. So, as a squad of 3 with an attack of 3 and a defense of 4, they can pull their own weight in an army, but their special powers make them particularly unique. First,
I have to say I love all the art they've been doing on the cards. What do y'all think of the card art now?
Is necrotic, sorry, necrotic network, which lets them take a turn with an Eisenach hero before their turn. If they pick a unique hero like Scavarith, Lord of Ruin, they can only activate one Reaver model. But if they activate a common, like one of the three that come in this set, they can activate the whole squad of three. Finally, at the start of each round, they can use their Scavenged Parts ability to replace one of their number with one of your previously destroyed medium common Eisenach heroes.
Ah, I love that ability. So let's take a moment to talk about these common heroes you just sort of mentioned. Starting with the Necrotech Ghastblade.
Yeah, isn't that just a Necrotech Reaver with a big buzzsaw arm?
It for sure is. So each of the common heroes in this pack is represented by attaching a special arm to a Necrotech Reaver body. You can mix and match to customize your army at the start of the game and even perform upgrades mid-battle since the arms are all friction fit.
Yeah, that is pretty wild.
That's literally its personality. So it also comes with a wild spin special attack that hits all adjacent figures, even friendly ones. Each of these common heroes has 2 life, representing toughness granted by the upgrade. And next up is the Necrotech Ghoul Grip, defined by its ginormous claw arm. Fans of all time will recognize these special powers from the Gladiatrons. Maybe the Eisenach have learned a thing or two from Vadar's other troops. So Cyber Claw means that if a small or medium figure moves next to a Ghoul Grip, it can no longer move. So there's no escaping a Ghoul Grip unless you kill it, which can be tough since a Ghoul Grip gains an extra defense against normal attacks from adjacent attacking figures thanks to melee defense 1. The last common hero in this pack is the Necrotech Geistfire, which brings a ranged option to the army. A range of 6 and attack of 3 can be a potent combination. The guns that Geistfires have grafted to themselves are unstable though. After they attack a non-adjacent enemy, they have to roll a 20-sided die, and if they roll a 1 through 5, they take a wound.
The box comes with 6 Necrotech Reaver bodies and 3 of each of the common hero arms. That means you can customize the pack as needed each time you play, as 2 squads of Reavers, 1 squad and 3 heroes, or even 6 heroes. So don't miss out on this unique new army expansion. The unpainted version is $50 and the painted one is $70.
Oh my goodness. And somehow we made it to the last army expansion reveal of the day. Introducing the Skordire soldiers. So Einar has summoned himself a Skordire hive with the Skordire soldiers common army expansion. The pack contains 1 common squad and 3 common heroes that all fight as a coordinated force.
First, let's talk about the Skordire infantry. Everything in this pack is a disciplined soldier, as befits Einar's ranks. These infantry are not the most impressive on their own, with an attack of 2 and a defense of 3, but their strength lies in numbers. With their Insectoid Swarm ability, they roll an additional attack die if they are attacking a figure adjacent to 2 or more of other Skordire or insect figures you control. Plus, with teaming, when 1 infantry figure dies to a normal attack, you can move 1 unengaged common Skordire or insect figure you control up to 5 spaces. That way, you can keep the swarm together. At only 45 points for a squad of 3, you can fit a lot of them in an army and still have room for heroes. And you will want some heroes, thanks to the Pheromone Coordination special power. With that, before taking a turn with the infantry, you can take a turn with up to 2 different Skordire or insect common heroes, or 1 Skordire or insect unique hero.
Here's your chattering madness. You can bond with him.
That means they work well alongside Queen Maledrix or the Oathbound Phalanx, or with an assortment of the common heroes from this box.
And speaking of the common heroes, the first one we're looking at is the Spitting Hive Soldier. The only one with a range, it can attack from up to 4 spaces away, and whatever it attacks or taxes, whatever it attacks reduces its defense value for the rest of the turn. And when activating 2 different common heroes with the infantry, starting with this one is a pretty good idea.
Next up is the Lurking Hive Soldier. This bug was bioengineered for stealth assassinations. It hits harder than others with an attack value of 4 and can be hard to pin down. Disengage means it never takes leaving engagement attacks, and concealment means that if it would take wounds from a non-adjacent attacker, it has a chance to ignore that wound. And the chance is higher the farther away the attacker is.
And finally, we have the Bursting Hive Soldier. This one is essentially a walking sack of acid made to tie down enemy figures. Once an enemy figure is engaged with a Bursting Hive Soldier, it is left in a bit of a pickle. If it tries to leave, a coward's reward will trigger, and the Bursting Hive Soldier will make a leaving engagement attack with 2 dice instead of 1. But if the enemy kills the burster with a normal or leaving engagement attack, it bursts the acid sacs and risks wounding itself and anything else that was adjacent to the Bursting Hive Soldier. The Scoredire player would roll the 20-sided die for each non-Scoredire figure adjacent to the Bursting Hive Soldier, and on a 9 or higher, that figure would take a wound.
Those guys are really gross. But if you want to try these out, you can pre-order this expansion. The unpainted version is $45 and the painted is $65. And you can pre-order that now using the link in the chat below.
All right, so we've got one final terrain expansion to reveal. This one is one you might have seen teased at Gen Con if you were there, or any pictures of our displays circulating. So this is Shores of Valhalla.
The pirate ship.
The Shores of Valhalla terrain expansion includes 3 shipwreck terrain pieces, 3 cannons, 6 rope ladders, and 12 2-hex wood tiles.
The shipwreck pieces are epic obstacles that block line of sight, and you can attach tiles to the top deck to add a playable upper level. Rope ladders help getting up and down from those upper levels when moving up or down. A small or medium figure can count a rope ladder as one space, letting them move up and down with ease. Wood tiles can be treated as either decking or road, depending on the scenery. Decking has no additional effects aside from looking really cool. And the road adds 3 to a figure's movement if its movement is entirely on road tiles.
And finally, there are cannons. Cannons are interactable obstacles that allow figures adjacent to them to make a cannon fire special attack. This attack has a range of 8 with attack 3 and explosion 1. You can shoot the cannon once per turn with an unengaged figure. This terrain expansion is $85 and will release in May alongside the army expansions. So pre-order this terrain expansion now with the link in chat. And we have one very, very special reveal for y'all today. So much love has gone into this extra special Heroscape project. It's also the source of my madness. Introducing the Tome of Annihilation.
Oh,
yeah, the team has been working super hard on that. So thank you, Lee, for working on this, and to everybody who's been contributing to this project. This hardcover collection chronicles the complete saga of the Age of Annihilation. That's right, this is the definitive companion to the Age of Annihilation era. So as we wrap up the era and move on, you can have everything you need in one easy-to-reference compendium. This collects all the stories and struggles of the battlefield. So let's dive into everything you'll find in this book. Lee, what can you tell me about it?
Oh my goodness, there's so much. But let's talk about the awesome things. So, so the first exciting thing about this book is all the character bios. So it's all in one spot. Every character has a full bio included in the book. You can learn the histories, ambitions, and rivalries of all the heroes and villains and the Age of Annihilation era. And something else that I'm really excited about with this book is the fact that it dives into the actual lore of Heroscape, featuring information on the Valkyrie generals, the different planets that all these warriors are summoned from, and the history of the Battle of All Time.
Yeah, just exploring the Valkyrie general powers, legacies, and hidden agendas is a really cool part of this book. There's also info on factions like the Crimson Fleet, which is one of my favorites. So, yeah, check it out. Also included is info on Valhalla and the worlds beyond. Read about the diverse planets from which warriors are summoned, each with its own culture, dangers, and mysteries. There's info like these previews on screen for 7 other planets. So, that's a lot of information to dive into and have a deeper understanding of where your favorite heroes and villains come from.
And for sure. And speaking to history, we even have a full timeline of Valhalla in the book. That way, you can really gain a deeper understanding of all the historical lore details and the order in which they happened.
Very cool. Yes. And we can't forget the scenarios. Also included are every scenario that we published for Age of
Hmm.
Annihilation content to date, all laid out and printed within the book, making it a quick and easy reference compendium of both lore and playable content. So get ready to relive the campaigns and conflicts of the Age of Annihilation through story-driven scenarios. You're going to want to get your hands on this. It is an essential guide to the lore, legends, and battles of Heroscape. And this is a chunky book, so over 200 pages of content. So that'll keep you busy for a while. If you want a copy, you can pre-order it now for $45 using the link in the chat below.
It's not bad.
Okay, so that's everything for this May. But such a cool set of releases wouldn't be complete without an equally cool pre-order bonus. So let's give a warm welcome to a returning icon of Heroscape,
There he is.
Agent Carr. Vidar's first agent from the Rise of Valkyrie Master set back with the Doggin Dune as his steed. Let's look at the army card. Lee, can you give us some details?
For sure. So the card really represents Carr and Dune's teamwork through a blend of each of their abilities. Carr's Sword of Reckoning makes a
It's
return,
crazy.
granting him a whopping extra 4 attack against adjacent figures, and he can still disengage without leaving engagement attacks. On top of that, Dune lends his crippling glance to the pair. So before moving, you can choose a figure within 3 spaces and roll the 20-sided die. If you roll a 15 or higher, you can remove 1 unrevealed order marker at random from that figure's army card.
Yeah, they certainly live up to their personality of tricky when they mess with opponents like that. Get this when you pre-order anything from Thorman's Thunder. This promo is limited to 1 per customer. You can get it by pre-ordering on our web store or through participating local game stores.
Oh my goodness.
That was a
So,
lot.
like I said earlier, like a lot of reveals. That was a lot. And as promised, we have a shipping guide to help y'all pre-order. So remember, orders from our web store don't ship until everything in the order is in stock. So this is how we recommend you order if you don't want to wait.
All right, I want to give everyone one more sec to take a look at that guide. But in just a moment, we're going to switch gears and talk a little bit more about organized play. We have some really exciting stuff happening that you'll want to
Cool to
be
see
a
what's
part
going on.
of. So take those screenshots.
Yeah. So we have information to share on organized
After the organized play, we'll work on. That should be the last thing, I think, and then we'll do the giveaway.
play figures and the upcoming Valkyrie trials.
Okay, enough waiting. That shipping guide will also be on our website, so don't stress if you didn't get a screenshot. All right, let's jump into the details. Game stores all over the world are hosting Heroscape events. Renegade is supporting stores with organized play kits. We have not 1 but 2 current OP kits for stores to order with Raylan the Kiri Warrior and Deflectatron. Your friendly local game store can order kits containing either or both of these figures, and you can get them through participating in-store events, continuing through the end of the year. Our Spring 2026 kit is something a little different, a glyph pack. Elevate your tournament scene with the Heroscape Organized Play Kit. This kit equips tournament organizers with exclusive prizing for the top 8 players and the organizer themselves. A stunning set of full-color glyphs featuring bold, updated illustrations designed to reward excellence and inspire competition. These glyphs bring both style and prestige to your battlefield.
Let's talk a little bit more about the kit contents. So each kit comes with 9 sets of glyphs from the Age of Annihilation era. The glyphs feature fully illustrated art, which debuted at 2025 Worlds, and one glyph set out of the 9 will be full foil. So each set will be packaged in the same box. So it will be a blind reveal, and one lucky player will find the foil set.
That's fun.
Glyphs are exactly what players said they wanted at Worlds this year. So be sure to ask your store about Heroscape Organized Play and tell them to pre-order this kit.
And if
What's this glyph of Phalaren? I've never seen that one. Glyph removal?
you're looking to get more involved in your local scene's organized play, head over to the Heroscape Battle Network.
The Battle Network is a Heroscape Organized Play website, which also serves as a community hub for players, judges, and event organizers. It's also a comprehensive tournament software. You can find the closest event to you using the Heroscape Battle Network. Use the convenient event finder and get signed up for an event. Head over to the Battle Network and make an account using the link in the chat below.
And I also want to mention our thriving Heroscape community over on Discord. Join the Discord to chat with other Heroscapers, show off your maps, and please post your pasted minis. I love hanging out in the Discord and chatting with y'all. But, well, let's talk about the Heroscape Valkyrie trials, which are kicking off this month. Participants in these premier level events will have the chance to win some amazing prizes.
That's right. First place will receive this Leviatak, the Kiri warrior figure on a gold base. Plus a foil
cool.
Leviatak army card with the Valkyrie Trials logo. First place will also receive a World Championship invite guaranteed.
Hey, chat. Do you want to wait to the end to do the giveaway, or you want to do it now? Let me know.
Guaranteeing them a seat at day 2 of Worlds. 2nd through 8th place will receive a Leviatak figure on a silver base along with a foiled army card. And there is also one included for the tournament organizer or judge of the event.
There will be exclusive participation, excuse me, there will be exclusive participation prizes as well. It's because of all the stuff we have to talk about. My voice is as players who competed in a Valkyrie trial event they'll receive a set of Ukar order markers, the Golak's Wing Renderer permanent treasure glyphs, and the glyph card to go with them.
We're so excited to see players come together for the Valkyrie trials, and we will even be hosting one ourselves at AdeptiCon in March. On screen now is our calendar of Valkyrie trial events through 2025. Use this to plan ahead and determine where you may want to travel.
And stay tuned to our Discord and socials for our 2026 events that will include even more events here in the US, Canada, and the EU.
This is our biggest OP event initiative to date. So head over to the Battle Network and make an account using the link in the chat and make sure to reserve your spot. We would be remiss to not talk about our World Championship this year, which just took place at Gen Con.
Oh my God, yes. So it was a 3-day event, and we had tons and tons of Heroscapers show up from all around the world. So huge shout out to Ken, Courtney, and the dev team who helped run this event and so many others throughout the weekend.
And a huge shout out to Nick Elder for winning our 2025 Heroscape World Championship. He was a good sport when we also crowned him champion by pouring our own Gatorade jug filled with water tiles all over him in celebration.
That was pretty fun.
So you totally have William and Dylan to blame, or maybe appreciate for this new tradition, which actually formed at Adepticon this year.
Yes, that is true. Lee, I heard you mention store championships just a moment ago. Any plans for another one of those in the future?
Yeah, of course, Anais. So we'll be having store championships in 2026, and they will once again be hosted. But this time we'll do April through June with the top prize getting you that day 2 buy again at Gen Con.
Any spoilers for me and the players at home?
Well, I don't want to give away everything, but players can expect to see a certain pirate commander with an affinity for Crimson next spring in our store champ kits.
And that's going to be all for this stream, Heroscapers. So make sure to tune in for the rest of RenegadeCon. Next at 11 in like 5 minutes is our Renegade Reveal stream where we'll be revealing more new games.
Well, I think that's the end. That was exciting. There is so much coming out. They revealed so many cool figures. I am very excited for all of those. But do tune in at what time is that at? 12:30. There is nope, not 12:30. Where am I? 1:30. 1:30. Bodacious Blood, Austin, and I do a playthrough using the Joes. It is an awesome game. It was crazy back and forth, so you gotta check that out. Do the raffle 30 seconds ago. Yeah, pretty much. All right, let's get the raffle going. To be entered, you need to be subscribed to the channel, and then make a comment and comment what army or figure that you're most excited to see or get or play. What one got you the most excited? Put it in the comments right now, and then we will spin a wheel and we'll do a prize. What the prize is going to be is either any of the current waves, so like Scions, the Dryads, the Great Bows, well, they're with the Scions, and the Gallery. So you can pick from one of those if you win, or any of the stuff that was announced. We can reserve one of those for you, and you'll get it when they get released. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see. Get everybody's name on here. And we'll just bring it over here. That's fine. Okay. All right, we got Kurt. We got Austin. We got Art. We got Bill. We got Cross. We got Sprinkle in your water. Sparkling. Sparkle. Water. And then we got Ryan. Tyler. Elijah. Didn't spell that right. We got Seth. We need to get Nicole on there. We got Scott. All right. I think that's everybody. No, you're not too late. Yeah, what's your yeah, your art. But yeah, just put your just mention, be subscribed and mention your most excited figure you're wanting to see. Add you twice, right? All right. I think that's everybody that's here right now, so we'll go ahead and give it a spin. Good luck. And let's see, who is this that didn't? I don't know if I have a name on there. Do I got everybody? I think we got everybody. Thorman. That's who I was missing. Or not Thorman. It doesn't have your name on there. Brandon. There we go. Brandon. Yep. Brandon. Okay. I think I'm just missing. It doesn't show your name on in the chat for the guy that said Thorman for me. Is that Brandon? Isaac. All right, there we go, Isaac. Yeah, I don't know why it displays your name. Doesn't display your name. All right, I think that's it. Let's go ahead and do it. Nicole! How exciting. Cool, cool. Congrats. Yeah, so for that, just go ahead and message me. I think my email You can get my email in my chat, but we'll get it all figured out. And we'll see what you want. Super exciting. Congrats, congrats. Cool. Well, thanks everybody for watching and joining in. This was there were so many figures announced. That is super exciting. I think this fall and spring is going to be a very fun time with all these new figures. And I can't wait to play them all. They all just seem so much fun. Each one has their own thing. And the thing that I really like about everything that's coming out in these waves is there's a lot of like mechanic decisions. It's not just I have good stats and I'm gonna roll dice. It's a lot of, like the Reavers. It's like which ones and what combination of those common heroes do you add into that? Or some of them are like, you can move this, then that. The Joes are very exciting because they have a lot of order markers. Scarlet has some cool abilities. Like there's so many cool things. So, but thanks everybody for watching, and we will see you in the next videos. So check them out. Goodbye.